So I'm going to do just a small video, and then I'm going to show an old clip from 2004, so it's 19 years old, of Aragorn at a temperament test for the breed. There was about 20 some Corsos there. 2 were Italian, the rest were American. Aragorn was the only dog that did well. Some of the dogs shit, literally. One female that was doing lots of sport training, she did bite the sleeve, but very quickly she let go when there was a little bit of pressure applied. And the 2 different helpers, decoys, agitators, whatever you want to call them, test Aragorn. The one guy who tests him more in prey is a gentleman who owned a couple of his sons. And the other guy was testing him more to see if he had the defense in him and what he was really all about. Iggy. Iggy. I'm on the shakiness, I'm sitting out in the sun. So anyway, so we have the 2 different helpers. Let me get him to come in here. Come on. Iggy, let's go. We have the 2 different helpers, and you'll see the reactions are different from Aragorn with the way that he's tested. You'll also see the guy who put more pressure on him, Aragorn went over to afterwards and attempted to challenge him, was going to nip him. Oh great, sniffing a wasp. And due to the fact that Aragorn and I had a great relationship, I was able to get him to chill out and accept the guy's presence, which was Chris Rolex. He's a well-known guy, very good, very talented dog trainer. Now, a lot of people think that, a social dog means he can't be a good guard dog, and the Corso should never be social, and all this bullshit. But Aragorn was a dog that it took a lot of work to show him. He was only shown for a very limited time because he hated it, and there was always the stress of him biting the judge, as he did not like it, but he was willing to accept it, as that's what dog training is. When your dog doesn't like something, a good dog trainer can get the dog to accept it. And as time went by the time he hit about 5-6 years old, he was comfortable with people because he was comfortable in his own skin, that he could handle whatever was dealt his way. That's honestly what I believe. But anyways, you can watch the video. You can see a little bit of differences in the style of agitation and the reaction of the dog. You can see when there's more pressure on the dog that doesn't include a sleeve, the dog is showing some more defense. He was a dog that easily went defensive, that we spent a couple years just working him in prey to get him out of that and to let him know that the game can be fun. And just because a dog knows it's a game and that biting a sleeve can be fun doesn't mean the dog won't defend if something was to really go on, if he's a good dog. If he's a shit dog, then yeah, of course, he's going to look for a sleeve. Or if he was trained shitty, he's going to look for a sleeve. But not a good dog. They can understand the difference. Some people need to give them a little more credit. So anyways, I'll go to the video. Unfortunately, the original audio was music, so I had to cut it out as it was distracting. See, he's got no sleeve. His movements are more prey, but he still came straight on. And yeah, the dog's happy, tail wagging, and that's because he knows the game. But he was a dick. He wanted to make sure that you knew that he knew he could hurt you. And the trainer that used to work with him, that's very well known, that's what he used to say about him. Is he'd like to jump up and snap his teeth right in your face to whoever was the helper, but he wasn't trying to land it. He was just trying to show you that he can hurt you. Now you have to remember this is 19 years ago. And this dog was born in 2001. But he always was looking to me. Such an easy dog to handle. That's why I don't know what's wrong with the breed today, but so many people can't manage them. That's him getting in Chris's face. And this is what I would do with him quite often. I would just tell him to heel, walk him a few times in a circle, and he would eventually relax and take the focus off of wanting to potentially fight somebody. And then he'd be social. And because he was social, some would say he wasn't a real dog. Those are just people who haven't seen enough dogs. To me, he was the most perfect protection dog. Was social, worked with old people, and kids with autism. And he absolutely knew. He could read people like a book. He knew if you were a threat or not. Women and children, he would just love them to death. Men, he wouldn't roll over. He'd always kind of flex a bit. Probably had the clearest head I've ever seen on a dog, period. And he was a freak of nature in size.